Hey there y'all, this is Rob Lamb and welcome to my channel where I talk about financial independence, real estate investing topics, and other side hustles that will help you make a lot of money. And in this episode is a really important, little known technique that if you're not employing it, you could be missing out on hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. I know I've benefited greatly from doing this, and that is to not let these missed calls of yours, which leads to missed leads and missed prospects, from slipping through your fingers because you don't have an effective way of handling them. So whether you've got some sort of a side business or sales flipping type business or anything related with prospects and leads, I highly recommend you tune in, because if you're missing calls and you're not effectively calling them back, you're losing out big time. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how you won't ever lose a missed call again. So you need to employ this. If you're using a CRM, whether it's manual or automated, I can just show you some techniques on how you can employ that. So stay tuned. All right, here we go. So I'm logging into the REI Reply CRM that I have, and let's go right into the first missed technique tool or something that you can try to incorporate in your own business. But I just wanted to show you what the tool will allow me to do, and that is if you go into the settings under the company, what is a setting here is a missed call text back. And how many times has it happened where you get a call and you're busy and then nobody answers? Well, I'm going to go over some other ways of handling that, but there's a cool checkbox here which you can just say, based on the different variables, you can put your company name. It uses variables so that if you have more than one company, based on location, it can use that. But hi, this is Diabetic USA. I saw that we just missed your call. How can we help? And you can just mention that. I like to say, hey, are you looking to get cash for your extra diabetic supplies? Send us the info or a best time to call back. All right, so this will automatically send them a text message, which is a really cool new feature that was added in an upgrade to the system. And not many people know about this, but this is how you can automatically do it with very little delay. And in a minute here, I'm going to show you how you can actually set up something and you can trigger it yourself manually. But definitely have a way to reach people back if you missed a call. So what I wanted to show you is another technique of doing this. Technique number 2 is a little more complicated, so pardon me if I'm going a little bit fast here. This is not about a tutorial on how to use this system, but you can see how your tool, if you have one, can do something similar or not. But if you were to use this tool, this will give you some of the features of how advanced this is. There's a concept of tags. You know how you can tag people through #, and you can tag people in the social media. Well, here you can also have a tag like missed call. I have a tag created called missed call. It's a category, just like tagging in Twitter and all that. Anyway, there's a missed call tag, and I already have it here, but you could add one if you don't have something like that. And by having that, you can now use it in your contacts. Okay, so what I wanted to do is, if the call comes in and it was a missed call, so I can come here to the conversations, let's say, and then let's just pretend that someone made a call here that I missed. All right, here's a perfect example here. Here's a record. They called for 9 seconds and I couldn't answer the phone, and I happen to have an automatic response to them that says, oh, sorry, we missed your call. Were you calling about getting cash for your diabetic test strips or supplies, right? So this is common practice for me, and let me tell you, this has saved so many deals and reached back out to so many people. This just came in just recently. Many times they might get back to me, a little bit later. But what I meant about the tag is you can come in here, and I'm going to go into the record itself. I don't know who that person is because it's just a blind number, right? But I just give it a name like friend. And what I mean by tags is I can say this is a missed call tag. And this way I can track who are missed, and I can show you how I use that later on, because when you have certain tags created, you can organize your people based on that tag, and so you can send like a blast SMS message to them, and specifically to these kind of folks. And I also like this may be automatic. In this case it wasn't automatic because it was using another one of my numbers, but I have a specific phone number in my campaigns that whenever someone calls, it automatically tags it as a diabetic prospect. Okay, so this one, it came in through another one that's not automated. So that's how I know that this came from like one of my internet tags or internet methods, not some of my other marketing. Anyway, so I got two tags for this person, right? And I can save it. And let me just show you how like it would work. If I come in here, I can come in, see this record here. I have the tags to say which are the people that are all the missed tags, and I can just filter it by that so that I can just blast a text message to these people specifically right here under missed call. And see, it has this tag assigned. So in other words, so here this is where like we go into some other techniques. You can come in and tag the people, and then you can send an email to them, send an SMS message to them right here, and blast an email message to whatever list. So anyway, that's another way that you can mark who's tagged and how to handle those people. Furthermore, you can come in here, and then because you have these people tagged, this can be set up as a cold call campaign. So by adding these here, you can add them to a manual call, and then it'll go through like a dialer and call everybody that you've set up for an auto dialer. Just to show you how I can set it up for a cold call campaign, I can, after I selected one or more of these people, this is just a simple example, but I can come in here and add campaign. I hit OK, and I can pick my live cold call campaign right here. And the way I've got this set up, I can either call them all at the same time, meaning have it all dumped in one big list so that it can put it into the campaign, or I can schedule it where it'll start at a certain time and date, and then start at that point and get added to the list. Or I can do drips of like, in tomorrow I will go ahead and do 20 at a time and only call on the weekdays, okay, from a certain amount of time, like let's say 10:30 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So anyway, you can specify that kind of stuff. This will add them to, in this case it's a cold call, but for SMS messages the same thing. It'll only drip during that time, but like for the cold call, it'll start stacking them into a list so that when I come into the place where I can start making the calls, I just hit start and it'll just start dialing the people, and I just sit here and just start calling people that I can ask them as well. I can have either myself or someone else start asking them, hey, we missed your call, have you thought about selling some more diabetic supplies? And it's great to call sometimes because some of these older folks, they may not like to work on text messages and stuff. They may not really look at their phone. So having the phone interaction, I think, is really good and great service that you can provide. All right, so I know that was a lot to take on, but let me show you another third way that you can organize these missed call people. And this is where we go into the pipelines a little bit. And forgive me again if we're getting a little bit more advanced here, okay? But you know how I was saying that um, here's a kind of a dashboard that shows different people that goes from a lead to a customer type of workflow. Well, one thing else that you can do actually, even before they become a lead, or right, is to add a missed call column in here. So I'm going to go into that with this tool and show you how that can be done. So in this case, it's the pipeline. If I go into the diabetic test strips, I can create a new stage called missed calls and move that up the chain. All right, and when I save that, now when I go back into the pipeline, it'll show as missed call. Now let's go back to that record that I had, the missed call, and it's right here. If we look at that person, and I can do this, I can add the opportunity and select the pipeline, which is diabetic test strips, and I can put them into the missed call stage. Okay, and in this you can even put in here, if you know, well, you don't know where they came from, source, like whether it's came from signs or some kind of marketing, that's okay. It's just a dial in, and when I hit add here, this actually adds them into the opportunity. And when we go back into the pipeline, there's our friend right there. So you can track who are the missed calls, and you can work these kind of leads in similar ways that I just talked about. And when they actually become a lead because you called them and now they're a lead, you can just drag them over to this folder and it'll turn them into a lead. And you can also remove them from the missed call tag. So this is, if you know, the tag is one way. I just wanted to show you that was missed. That was the point number 2 that I was making about adding tags. If you use this pipeline technique, you don't really need to tag them because you kind of see them in this board, in this dashboard. Okay, so I'm just showing you different techniques of how you can organize your prospects, and you pick the one that you like the best. I just wanted to show you different techniques, but the key is that you handle them. All right, the final technique I was going to show you is probably the most complicated, if you would, even though it's really not that hard. But let me just show you how you can create a series of messages that'll send out, and you can trigger this campaign whenever the person was a missed call. So let me give you an example here. This is I want to create it from scratch. This is a missed call campaign, and I'm just going to create this here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an SMS message so I can show you this. Or I'm going to do this real quick here. Hi, sorry. All right, so we can save that, and that'll be sent in, let's just say 1 minute after you trigger this. Okay, so it doesn't look so robotic. Maybe, again, that's totally up to you. Second message would be, I'm making this up here, right? You called us for a reason. Ciao. What I like to do too is I try to keep things kind of friendly, laid back. Sometimes I put some emojis, things like that. You can also, put variables here. If you know details about that person, you can also put it in here. Anyway, let's add text number 2. And this can be like in an hour from now. Okay, so this just gives you the power of setting up these campaigns, right? You can also schedule a call to them where here's what will happen. This, you can schedule a call. This means that the system will call you, so that it'll be like a, missed call follow up. That's the message that we whispered in your ear, so that when you get a call from nowhere, it'll be really the system calling you and three-way calling with them. So this is when it proactively calls you so that you can talk to them. But there's also another way of calling, which is the manual call. And this is the one where it will wait for you to dial them. And what happens is this action will add it to your queue for cold calling, so that once a day, 3 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever, you will go into your queue of all the calls to make that day, and this will just be another one of the calls. So those are two ways that can be set up for doing a call. And you can also have another one, which is a dropped voicemail. This is a ringless voicemail where you can record a file, recorded MP3 file, upload it here, and it could be very similar in the way you say it, like the other messages up here, but it would drop the voicemail on their phone, and this is instead of you live calling them. So these are all things that can be done, whether hours or even days later, where it'll start until you reach them back, where they tell you that it was a wrong number. Okay, so just letting you know, these are different campaigns. I'm just doing this for fun here. This is like in a pretty aggressive way of reaching them, right? So let's just pretend that we were to publish this, okay? Make this live, and let's go back to our record, and I'll show you how you can actually trigger them. Now, this is a real person who called me, and it was missed. So check this out, where I'm going to actually real live here, is to actually, it's kind of late, so I may not send it, because most of my campaigns are set only for during certain hours, business hours. So here's what I can do. I can add this campaign that I just created, and it's probably here under the missed call campaign and event start. So if I start this, let's say tomorrow, actually I'll just do it right now. So I wonder if this will work. Doing it right now. But add this. What's going to happen, and it may not do it because again I'm outside of office hours, but this will immediately send in 1 minute. Remember, I told you that in 1 minute that campaign will start. Well, in 1 minute it would actually send a text message, and then it would show up here, and it would trigger that whole series of campaign. Then every couple hours, every couple days, whatever, it'll start going through the motions automatically for you. So this is probably the most automated way of doing things, using the campaigns, and this is how you're going to start, quote unquote, for lack of a better word, chasing down these prospects without you needing to really do anything else but tagging them here. Notice I don't need to tag them anymore. That was just an earlier strategy. I added them to this campaign with certain activities involved, and it will just immediately start dripping on them. All right, so anyway, there it is. See this? It sent them the text. Hey guys, what better timing? You see exactly in real time the message that I created got sent. It shows that it worked, and hope you liked the tool. Hope that this helps you in your own CRM if you have one. If you don't and you'd like to take advantage of this CRM, which has made me a tremendous amount of money in multiple businesses of mine, there's a link below on how you can get signed up. And if you use my affiliate link at the bottom, I can help you in free 15-minute session to go over some of this stuff with you. Or you can schedule a coaching call with me where I can even get you set up with a lot of this to get your business going in full automation. All right, and if you like the video, please smash that like button and subscribe.